Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Dhena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah.
Anchakalpatarvascha Kripasindabevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Anantakoti Vaishnavindiki Jai Gaur Premanande Haribol. Good morning, Vaishnavas, or if it's afternoon or evening, wherever you are, Hare Krishna. This is the precise process that is chanting the holy names with concentration and from the heart, recommended in all the scriptures and by the authorities like Haridas Thakur, who mentions that the material world, which is illusory, and the living entities mixed into that illusory energy are in a precarious situation, fraught with birth and death. But the holy name has descended from the spiritual world just to save the conditioned souls from the material world. That's the main process. And he goes on to say, does Haridas Thakur to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Harinam Chintamani, that in Krishna's storehouse in the spiritual world, the most precious gem is the holy name. And then Haridas Thakur explains how the definition of a Vaishnav is one who has faith and pure intention in chanting the holy names. Faith and pure intention. Those whose faith is not so strong or whose intention may be different than pleasing Krishna or serving Krishna when they're chanting, they're called semi-Vaishnavas, and they're chanting in Namabhasa. And the further away one gets from the holy name, the less effect that it has. The way that we become closer is by developing our faith in the association of devotees and hearing from the Shastra. The Haridas Thakur says also that there are primary names and secondary names. The secondary names like the Creator, Paramatma, etc., are for those engaged in karma kanda, jnana kanda. They don't produce pure love for God. But the primary names like Krishna, Rama, Hari, Govinda, these are names that are directly related to Krishna's Leela. And by chanting these names with faith, then one will develop pure love for God. In this age, it's very difficult to do anything properly because of the contamination of the age, and therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended that the only process is to chant Hare Krishna. And here's an excerpt from the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Lila, chapter 4, in which Prabhupada quotes from the Bhakti Sandarbha. This is the verdict of Jiva Goswami in describing the process of chanting Hare Krishna. Quote, chanting the holy name is the chief means of attaining love of Godhead. This chanting or devotional service does not depend on any paraphernalia, nor on one's having taken birth in a good family. By humility and meekness, one attracts the attention of Krishna. That is the verdict of all the Vedas. Therefore, if one becomes very humble and meek, he can easily attain the lotus feet of Krishna in this age of Kali. This is the fulfillment of all great sacrifices, penances, and austerities, because when one achieves ecstatic love of Godhead, he attains the complete perfection of life. Therefore, whatever one does in executing devotional service must be accompanied by the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then Srila Prabhupada goes on to say that Rupa Goswami concurs and says, Nikila Shuti Mali Ratnamala Duti Nirajita Pada Pankajanta. That all of the Vedic literatures, stacks and stacks, are pointing to this fact, and that is that the holy name is the central point of focus for those who are eager to develop perfection in life of love of Godhead. So this is the process given to us by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, confirmed by all the Shastras and the sages. And the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the preferred mantra propagated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and by all his associates. And we've been handed this jewel from the spiritual world. It is the most valuable jewel in Krishna's storehouse. We have unlimited wealth. No other paraphernalia is necessary. Nothing else in this world is necessary to help us to come to perfection or go back to the spiritual world, except for the holy name and the way we cultivate ourselves to chant it. So having said that, we can begin our chanting today by praying to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates through the Panchatattva Mahamantra. And then we'll go on chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, remembering that we're chanting primary names of the Lord and that it is the crown jewel in Krishna's storehouse from the spiritual world. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, 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 Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Miche Mayar Boshe Jacho Beshe Kacho Habudubu Bai. O Bai, O brothers, because you're absorbed in miche, that which is illusory, you're drowning in this ocean of material nature. Habudubu is the sound of bubbles coming up when somebody's drowning. And actually what we're drowning in is the mind, because the mind is the repository of all the various images that we take in from the outside world and then mix together in a concoction. So Krishna says then when the mind is withdrawn from that process and not engaged in that chatter of the mind, Prajahati Yadakaman Sarvat Parta Manogatan, the devotee is pratyahara, is able to withdraw her attention from the chatter of the mind and Atman Yevatmana Tushta, to place it on the higher self. And so that's possible by the chanting of the holy name. We're drowning in the mind, and the mind then pulls us under birth after birth. Every time I leave the body, I'm drowning, and then I pop up again somewhere else in the river, and I've got another body that I'm drowning in again. And the only way to get out of the drowning process is by the helpful hand of the holy name that pulls us up above the drowning, the water in which we're drowning, the whirlpool. And Prabhupada mentions, and I've mentioned several times, how he said, you don't have to be a mile above the water, but at least an inch above. So when we're chanting Japa, we should try to come to that point of being at least an inch above the drowning process, an inch above the water in which we're drowning. And the only way to do that is through the power of the holy name, through yoga, meditation, and so forth. It's mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam that Rikta Matayo, that the people try to restrain their minds and they don't fix it on anything except for the impersonal Brahman, or they try to fix it on nothing, make it nothing. But again, the mind will come back into that whirlpool because it doesn't have anything beautiful to fix on. But the holy name's beautiful. It's got form, It's got taste and lila. Everything is complete in the name. So if the mind can take shelter of the name, then we can not just rise above the water, but then we can come into our original state of pure love for Krishna. So let's just hear from some of the devotees if you've had this experience. Well, actually, I just want to ask, what brought you to the Zoom room today? What is it that motivated you to come over, turn on your camera, get into this Zoom room? Just the one singular thought, if you can remember it, what it is that made you do this. Because this is a kind of a discipline to be able to sit here. You've been in a lot of Zoom rooms lately. Why'd you come to this one? Let's hear from you. Yes, Lalita Rajagopi.
Pranam Guru Maharaj. Good morning, all my siblings. Good morning, Guru Ma. Dandavat Pranam to all of you. What brought me today to the Zoom room is the joy of being with you, with my Guru Maharaj, with all my God siblings, and to chant as concentratedly as I can my 3 or 4 or 5 Japa rounds that I can chant now with all of you. That is the joy of being together. That is what brought me today.
The joy of being together. Thank you very much, Lalita Rajagopi. It's nice to have you here. Chakadola.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj Ji, Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna.
Guru Maharaj Ji, hearing your japa, it gives a lot of energy to do the japa for the rest of the week. And also, when I feel lazy or alas to do japa in the morning, so in my heart I recall your japa. So it motivates us to do more and more japa and with enthusiasm. Thank you so much.
Are you in the book room, Chakadola?
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
That's the best place to chant. If you can sit in the book room. And I heard this morning Prabhupada mention that the best way to control the mind is to think about how to spread the Krishna consciousness movement. So it's not possible not to think about anything. But if we transfer our attention to how to spread the Krishna consciousness movement. So if you chant japa inside the book room and remember that these books are deities, it's a very nice sight to see those boxes behind you. Any devotee knows the book room's the most sanctified place in the universe. If you can sit in there and chant, very powerful. Thank you very much, Chakadola. Bali Mardan Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Go.
So I am very honored to be here. And my only realization is I got my second dose of vaccine 2 days ago, and I was having complete fever, shivering, and all kind of things. And I was not able to even chant my own mechanical chanting. And I felt good in the morning. I thought this is the time. I felt like I revived my next life, and joining with all the devotees to get recharged. The whole thing and association of the devotees is very important. So that gives me strength.
Thank you very much, Bali Maran Prabhu. And that reminds me also, I'd like to offer a special prayer for all the devotees in various places and relatives of devotees who are now somehow or other afflicted by the ongoing pandemic. As many devotees are writing in saying how their mother, father, brothers are either, some have passed away, some are deathly ill. Our dear Pankajangri Prabhu, my godbrother, is extremely ill, maybe moving back into Mayapur out of the hospital in Calcutta. And so, dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Panchatattva, Shri Ranamadan Mohan, Shri Lakshmi Nrsingadev, if you so desire, please protect all the devotees in the world right now in this dangerous time and keep them under the shade of your lotus feet. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Shrisha.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. I don't want to miss the golden opportunity to chant with all the other devotees. Yeah, I think if I miss this, it will be gone. It won't come back. So I don't want to miss. That's why I came here to chant with all of you.
Oh, I love that. So don't take any second for granted when we have opportunity for association. That's beautiful. Thank you very much. Shukeshri.
Prabhu, I just got an update that Prabhu is doing better. Pankaj Angre, Prabhu. Swelling in the limbs have reduced, pulse rate has come to normal, and the pain in the chest and abdomen have gone. So and they're just talking about how the ointments have been helping, and the situation is far better than what it was yesterday. I had just received this in the morning, Prabhu.
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you very much for that report. Radhakripa.
Today's realization was pretty unique. When I was chanting, it was sometimes difficult to focus, but I have this earphone in my ear, and then I had three options: either to listen my voice, and then there is a sweet voice of yours, and in the background Prabhupada. So my mind has three destinations. He can either focus on my voice, or your voice, or Prabhupada's one. Then I kept my mind fully engaged in that one, so it didn't distract as typically it used to do. So it's really helps. So the association and the Prabhupada's sweet voice in the background, then your voice, it was best part of the today. So thank you.
Thank you, Radhakripa Prabhu. Sri Madhava Mahotsava.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Just switched on my camera today and tuned in because I wanted to get your darshan, and it was really helpful just seeing you and I got a lot of I felt a lot of support from that. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for checking in. So glad to see you. Ekachakra, Pran.
Hare Krishna, my obeisances to all of you. I came into the room today to improve my japa. And when I see and hear all the devotees chanting together, my concentration naturally improves. I find myself in the present moment with more awareness, and I feel like I'm riding on a wave of the holy name. So thank you all very much.
Jai, thank you, Ekachakra. Pran. Devavrata, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Am I audible?
Yes, audible and visible.
So I came today because Brigupati Prabhu, him and I have been having some discussions on some of Prabhupada's purports. And he's been asking me to memorize a particular purport in the 8th canto. And one of the sentences that I'm currently memorizing is that the Lord is never lazy in the matter of our deliverance. And so I was thinking that, if Krishna is not lazy in the matter of my deliverance, then I probably shouldn't be lazy either.
Nice. That's one of my favorite verses too, Gajendra. Thank you very much for bringing that up and for being here. I'm so touched. Arindama.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. My inspiration was to join in to get association of all my God siblings and associated devotees in the room, and I wanted to chant with my Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Shamarupa.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. I live like in the whole week. I wait for, especially in the beginning, you give like some little tips, and at the end you speak some little tips. That's very powerful. Just like today, you reminded us. So I need this constant reminder because the whole week, the flow of material energy takes me away. And then this Saturday morning, you remind how the holy name is the most important jewel in Krishna's house. That was the most powerful statement that I really take to heart. That statement is a great jewel that you give, like every week you remind us in the beginning of the chanting and in the end of the chanting, this 1 or 2 tips, and how wonderfully you describe that this flow is going on and we have to elevate ourselves to get out of that flow 1 inch above the water. So I really look forward for these powerful statements that you make. It really inspires, and I can hold on to that, and that really helps.
Thank you, Shamarupa Prabhu. You're one of the jewels of ISV, for sure. Hare Krishna. Kameshwari for the close.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. So Prabhuji, because these days you are always praying, and this morning I was looking forward because you asked, what made you come. So I was looking forward because in one of the classes, I don't know, it was Radhisham Prabhu's class probably, or Achyuta Kumar Prabhu mentioned, I believe, but I heard that the Prabhu spoke such a way that he said, when the prayer is made in the assembly of devotees, and then it's more powerful, and the Lord hears to those who are the most advanced in the assembly and the most sincere prayers. So I just wanted to be part of this assembly of the sages and the exalted devotees, so that and of course headed by your grace, and that prayer will be heard. That's what I was thinking, that I should become part of this, because Mahamantra is a prayer. And it was so nice that you made the prayer for all the devotees, and I just thought I'll share that. That's what I was thinking actually. So
Thank you, Kameshwari. I was thinking last night and this morning, I couldn't stop thinking about my god brother, Pankajangri Prabhu. He came and stayed at our house, and he watched me do puja. I wanted him to watch everything I was doing and verify whether if it was all correct. Very dear devotee, an international treasure. And I was just thinking how valuable the devotees are. I mean, some devotees like Pankajangri Prabhu, even during this ordeal, he's been fully conscious. Hardly can breathe, but he's chanting his japa. He's chanting all his gayatris, and he's fully lucid, talking about, yeah, I'm in this body, I'm watching what's happening and all this. And it just shows somebody who fully dedicates him or herself to this process throughout this lifetime actually becomes fully conscious, fully Krishna conscious. And it's so rare to have the association of the Vaishnavas and those who are venerable, who have a track record, 50, 60 years of practicing Krishna consciousness. If we take advantage of that, even one moment, and I remember times sitting with some of my godbrothers, these have deep impressions in me, like one godbrother that I used to travel to India with all the time, and I'd stop at his house on the way to India, and we'd sit in the early morning hours and just chant and chant and chant and chant in front of his altar. And then I got so much strength and energy just by hearing him chant, just by being next to him, a godbrother who had so much association with Prabhupada. And other times sitting in the samadhi and chanting, and just one impression of being above the water an inch and saying, yeah, it's better up here. This is actually where I want to be. And this is the only way to get there, through the chanting of the japa. And also going to Shamarupa Prabhu's point, is this has to be reconfirmed every day, because material nature is very powerful and the mind is extremely powerful. And unless we get Sambandha Gyan every day, reminding ourselves that this is the process, this is the most valuable thing, then the mind will suggest some other thing as being most valuable and worthy of my attention. So we have to take help from Haridas Thakur, from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, from the Goswamis, from Srila Prabhupada, from the devotees who are advanced on the path of devotional service, to always remember that the prime goal of life is to take advantage of this greatest jewel from the storehouse of Krishna's treasury in Goloka Vrindavan that he's passed down here. And if we can take advantage of that, then everything else will come into play in our practice of devotional service. Deeply grateful for all of you coming on today. I have a special program I have to attend this morning that I was invited to, and I have to get ready for that and head out pretty soon. So I apologize for not being there for the class this morning, but I'll be looking for the next opportunity to be in your association. Thank you very much. Gaur Premanande Haribo.
Jai Gurudev.
Hare Krishna.
His Grace Vaisesika Maharaj ki.
Kripasindhaveva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnava. Anantakoti Vaishnavini ki jai.
Nachari Armarman, Nachari Armarman, Nachari Armarman, Nachari Armarman, hey, Nachari Armarman, Nachari Armarman, Nachari Armarman, Nachari Armarman.